welcome to everyone. What is our, is it the third on this? So, first thing, public question time. Don't think we've any members of the public, so we can move on from that fairly quickly. Item 39. The meeting's been recorded. Does anybody wish to make their own recording? No? Thank you. Item 40. Apologies for absence.
Yeah, so Councillor Blacker and Councillor Breeze.
Just let me know that his work teams meeting, so I don't know what's come up there, so I can't make his apologies for him. I can just let you know he's not going to be here. Okay.
Sorry, they're just the two that you emailed out. Okay. Can we approve those?
Yep.
Thank you. Item 41. Members and officers' personal and disclosable pecuniary interest in items on the agenda. Does anyone have any?
No.
Thank you. Item 42. Written request for new DPI dispensations.
Is there anything to report on that, Jim?
No, because Damien's was the last one and that's been circulated to everyone on full council and it was reported at the planning meeting.
Item 43, consider whether items on the agenda should be discussed in a private session. Don't think there's anything on there, is there? Okay, thank you. Item 44, confirm the minutes of the previous committee meeting. We're only noting these, aren't we, because they've already been approved, is that correct? So can we note those, please? We also note that we're up to item 45 and it should be 7:21, so 20 minutes have gone.
Still got to, everyone's got to beat past time. You can't beat past time, you still.
It was an F&M meeting as well.
It was.
Item 45, grants, grant evaluation reports. The following reports have been added and we're asked to note these. Anyone had a look at them?
Yeah.
I thought it was quite encouraging that I think sort of 3 of the 4 of them there was an emphasis on I can't speak.
Whatever.
Highlights on youth, which I thought was quite encouraging. So consider any further action regarding the grant evaluation report? No? Thank you. 2. The next cycle in September 2024. As members will be aware, the next meeting for grants to be considered is 30th of September. The closing date for application is 31st of August. Assistant clerk and deputy clerk have been advertising the grants both on social media and via leaflets. Consider any further action regarding the next grants cycle.
Ask a question,
Yeah, sure.
because I'm a new member of this committee. Is it possible for people to see the grant applications before the grants committee meets?
You've taken my point there. That is one thing I was going to say, and I think we've done it before. It makes life a lot easier if we've all seen them before the meeting.
Yeah, so I
There'll
mean,
be a lot to go through.
part of the difficulty is, for me and Jen, is that I think we've had 1 application so far, haven't we? Well, we've had 1 and 1 incomplete, and they all come in a dash on the 31st of August, and then you might get 1 a couple of days afterwards, and you go like, do we include this? But yeah, Councillor Wilson's asked for this before, so I'll tend to email them out as soon as I get them complete. So hopefully you'll have several weeks to have a look at them. Now, only Councillor Wilson gets the bulk of the financial information, so he will get the bank statements and accounts and stuff like that. You won't see that stuff. You'll kind of rely on Councillor Wilson to have that oversight, I suppose.
I mean, for me, it's not about forming an opinion before the meeting, because it's important we don't do that. It's important that we discuss the grants in the grants meeting. But I think just
Had
familiarisation.
time to look at them
Yeah,
properly before you come, it's important.
yeah.
Am I right in thinking that it's a subcommittee that looks at, of this committee that looks at the grants?
No, it's us.
It's the full committee, okay.
Likely to be busy meeting.
It's just Rich and Andy who look at all the bank supporting documents. You don't want them, I promise you, there's like 148 pages of supporting
Yeah, you get
documents.
far too engrossed, Sarah, then you'll become aligned, then you'll have to declare yourself, so it's just best overview.
That's for them, right?
Any further actions on the grants then? Yeah?
I mean, we'll probably advertise again before the end, you know.
Yeah.
We've still got a couple of weeks to go, I'll probably do it, you know.
If it's anything like the NHS though, you like bang it all in lastminute.com and go 5 minutes.
Yes, that's what will happen.
That's what we do.
Yes.
I've just got £5 million for community range, Sheffield.
Okay, councillor visits to community groups that have received awards. Have any councillors made any arrangements?
Me. Jenny, were you going to?
We were. And we said we definitely need to. I hadn't realised that we had to take the initiative to do it. I thought, anyway, I did note it in the minutes that it's up to us to make contact with them. And we
Jenny and
need
myself
to for an item that's coming up later.
will visit Upthorne
We
Cricket.
will.
See what I mean though, you didn't want to invite us though, did you? Me and Lawrence have just said that we're going to go somewhere together whenever you give anyone in our area some money.
Just have a look through the.
I'm going to go in a blue t-shirt, he's going to go in a red one.
We're both in touch with Haygate Residents Association.
We do a lot of it anyway.
Yeah, they've not spent their grant, have they? The money we gave them for the sound, towards the sound system and,
Some soil.
no, not that, no, I wasn't thinking about that one,
No,
I was thinking about the.
Was it for the gala?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They've had a gala though.
They did have Gala, yeah.
Did you not plug the sound system in, Lawrence? And you want to put in the
I
tent?
put the tent, did you see
They
that?
put the tent up. He was going, Labour are better than Conservatives, I'm going to go put the tent up. I was lambing.
Where were you?
I was shearing sheep. I was feeding the country while you were like.
I don't think it is a good idea to go and do some of these visits randomly. Despite the fact that I haven't done it, I do think we should.
Actually, I have been to Upperthorne Village Hall. I did go and I did talk to them about that, but I haven't done it since that prompt, and the next prompt is the cricket club.
We need photos.
Oh,
Not if you want the floor, Jenny.
that's completely made up.
I go to the home village residents association meetings, and I go to their community centre meetings, and just have a chat with them about what's going on. I went and watched Bridge Cricket Club on Saturday, and they've had money for us. It's just that
yeah, I don't know.
keeping in touch sort of thing, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
This is quite specific though, we're trying to tie it to grants, so
Yeah.
that we can, somebody actually goes and has a look at what we spent the money on.
yeah, because I think Homebridge Cricket Club has had multiple awards from us, I think we did their toilets, didn't we? We did the solar panels, so that's a big deal in terms of your.
This was
Homebridge.
Homebridge.
Homebridge, we paid, they haven't, it was only 6 months ago, they've probably not got them in yet, but that will be something that probably would be useful for you to go and do as the case chair.
Should I be
And it's
declaring
your
that
patch.
they bought me a pint of beer while I was there?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that'd be on the front page of the exam.
Over 50 quid, I think we did.
Councillor corruption, she's had half a pint.
Okay, moving on. Rolling grants. To note, Homefirth Arts Festival was approved for a rolling grant, but we have not received the rolling grant agreement. as
Yeah,
it
that's-
is.
she just did the application form again, so I said to her, look back at what we said in January, he doesn't need to send the rolling agreement. It'll be a shame, really.
At the last meeting, a decision on the rolling grant application from Home Valley Patient Transport was deferred pending a visit by Councillor Lyons. Councillor Lyons to report.
Yes, I have tried to phone the number quite a few times, pending 15 and 25-minute wait, and wonder don't go to that doctor. So, like, you can never get through, but Councillor Pat Collins has said that she'll send me
They've had an appeal in the most recent family flyer. They've had a fundraising leaflet.
and it might be a different number because the number we've got is like phoning BT. So like, it's alright, but I haven't got 45 minutes a day to wait for someone to answer the
I
phone.
mean, who's the onus on with this?
It's on, we want
Is
to
it on
know,
them?
we want to know if they'll cover further out of the area, don't we?
Well, I suppose if Councillor Lyles emails her, because the onus is on them, I mean, they surely want the £1,000.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
But the thing is, we've got some constituents that need access to surgeries in the, so I want to know if they'll cover further out of the area for more money. So if we could get them to cover a certain section of Hayes Edge, it would really help if they would drop that patient off at the doctor's, because it causes us.
But that's actually secondary to the.
Yeah, so I want more information, I want to know what area they cover. If it's just for their doctors, then.
It isn't. I keep telling you. This is the third time tonight I've told you it isn't.
I
I
know, but that
can't
was the
remember
question.
exactly where they go.
Yeah, but that was the question, wasn't it?
It's about which practices they cover.
It covers Elmwood and Oakwood as
No,
well as
good.
Yeah, that's in the leaflet.
So the action is that you're going to email them.
So I'm going to email them.
It might be a trivial or irrelevant point, but in the application form that's in the minutes, in the agenda's item C, the name of the manager has been redacted, but I note that there is a name given as an email address, Carol Cox-Ridgley. I'm just wondering whether that should be redacted.
It should have, yeah.
I only noticed it just before I came
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Grants Working Group. The working group has produced a report, guidelines, updated application form and updated evaluation report. Chair of the working group to report.
Well, we would like you to approve this for it to go to full council. We've tightened up all the things we can think of, but we've left it open so that we can be, open to the ideas that people come with. We can't, and I mean, I'm willing to bet that the first one we deal with it'll be at odds with one of the things we're just saying we shouldn't do, and we'll all want to do it and all the rest. That's going to happen, and we've got to be sympathetic to the requests that come in. But the idea and the report covers what we will do. The guideline applications, guideline for applicants expands some of the detail of the things we're recommending in the report, but it's designed for applicants, and then the two forms are self-explanatory. I think all the things in it are fairly self-explanatory, but I'm very happy to answer questions.
When would we start using this then?
Well,
For
for the next grant
After
round.
council, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
Does it have to go to full council before we can start using it? I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think it's
No,
drastically
but
different.
the next round is next month, and we wouldn't,
We can't make that.
we can't do it for that,
Okay, yeah.
because some of the applications are already made.
Of course.
So by the time we need it, we'll have had a full
To have had a
council
full
meeting.
council, yeah, that's fine.
Councillor Ryland.
I thought this was excellent. I was reading it this afternoon. Just a question about the priorities. Are all those priorities classed as being equal? So therefore, if I just finish, no, if I can just finish this.
We have,
If I can just
yeah,
finish. So, as
be
long as,
warned,
as long
you
as
could be about to tread on everybody's corns.
no, as long as one of those priorities is fulfilled, then that will be fine for it to
Oh yeah, they don't have to be all those.
No.
They're really, we discussed, we didn't argue, we're no falling down, but we discussed what order they should be in, and is that moreover, is that an overarching thing, where is that a detailed thing, and we tried to go from general to specific in the order we put them in as far as you can. The idea is that they're guidelines to the subcommittee who will vet them, and then to the committee who will approve them or not. And really, we're only going to need to refer to them when it happens that we have more applicants than money and we're choosing, and we can't just say, well, we'll give them all half, we're choosing between them for whatever reason. We would fall back on that list and say, okay, which of them does better on the list?
Ask another question. Yeah, that's totally fine. And I was looking at the application form, and it asks, how will your project address the ongoing climate emergency? Now, does it have to address the ongoing climate emergency, or if they've fulfilled the priorities, is that just fine? Is that optional? That's what I'm asking.
It's one of those. Everything this council does has to be underpinned by addressing the climate emergency. So sometimes it gets written, and it needs it in a lot of our applications. They should be showing how. If there's a group of pensioners wanting a tea party for the Queen's anniversary, we're unlikely to force them to use cups instead of paper cups. I mean,
But if it's in there and the application form, it prompts them to think about it.
No, I'm not making a big deal of this.
Yes,
I think
yes.
this is excellent.
but clearly you want people, where it's possible, to think green, where applicants can be green, there's the opportunity, and they're sophisticated enough to be able to think green, then we want them.
I think it's great because then we won't be paying anybody's gas bill again. I think it's brilliant. I think it's an amazing thought for us. Don't you, Damien?
To be honest with you, I think it's the guide is to help people to submit
It's great.
an appropriate bid to ourselves,
And it's getting all the way.
which gives them an idea what may be refused from the outset. So we're not getting those applications where we feel we're turning people away and it's personal. At least turn away at the paperwork stage. So I do agree with that. I actually like the document. I think it's fine. But as everything else is, it's a living document, and we can all discuss things which are in the grey area between at these meetings. That's what we're here for, isn't it?
It's a
We'll
really
solve
good-
a green
it's a really good point, that, isn't
Yeah.
it? That, people will
It'll make them think, won't it?
filter their own
Yeah.
applications.
And yet we still have to stay responsive to the needs of the community.
Definitely.
Rather than be sticking to strict rules.
That's
It's
right.
not
It'll only be when
Yeah,
we have a
exactly.
question, won't it?
It's pretty clear.
Yeah.
The language.
It prevents us having lots of applications for more sporting goods.
The first application we look at, and we're going to go on.
Me and Damien are going to start as a little tennis club up.
All the sporting goods.
We are knackered bodies.
Are there any other points?
No, I think it's very good, well done.
Yeah, excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
So, we need to consider whether we recommended this to the council.
Yeah.
I propose that we.
Seconded.
All in favour?
Yeah.
Thank you. Six, request for a grant award change of use budgets, community asset grants. They're not giving up on this one, are they?
We talked about this loads of times.
Only once, it just felt a big deal.
This was the one where they were given an award for carpets, didn't spend it all, wanted to spend it on something else, and we said no, we should return it. And now they're coming back and saying, well, actually, we can spend it on some other carpets. So we need to consider whether we're going to grant that change of use or not.
Well, Damien moves before me.
Thank you. Obviously, there's a visit to be had to said establishment anyway. So maybe that this could be deferred until that visit's been made and you see where these extra capits are going to go, or whether they'll be for the community benefits, rather than just capiting things for the sake of just making it quick.
I was thinking the other way around, that we might see how it went tonight.
I mean, part of me, it sounds petty and spiteful, but part of me wants to say no, because the idea is not to say apply and then spend right up to. The idea is for people who apply to be as responsible as we are, and if they don't use it, to put it back into the community pot. Now, that won't often happen, and they're being honest, bless them. They could have quietly just ordered small carpet, and we'd never have known. You know, we're into one of those grey areas. Part of me wants to say, no, you can't. You have to reapply if you want more, and then part of me thinks, oh, pull yourself together.
I'm coming in at the end of this discussion, if I wasn't here for the earlier parts, but at the same time, I would argue, there's a disincentive to grant applicants to keep the costs down.
Yeah.
You know, if you say, well, you know, if you underspend, we're not going to let you have the difference, they'll say, well, spends the full amount anyway.
Yeah, we'll have expensive carpet.
Yeah, we'll have Axminster rather than
Not for £5 grand,
Well, I read the letter that you sent Rich to them saying, you know, no, we are going to ask for the money back, but do reapply. We're encouraging you to reapply. And in a way, the letter was a lazy way of reapplying, wasn't it? You know, so could you say they've all, you know, they've not filled in another application form, but we've already got all that information. So, but I think we'd be in a better position to judge it when we visit it and think whether a carpet is a suitable use of money or whether they should submit an application. The chairs it was they wanted, wasn't it?
Yeah, they wanted to burn.
They did originally, but they're now back on.
Chairs, and they've gone back on carpets. Because we said no to chairs.
We've gone back to carpet.
Carpets. But we can, yeah.
I personally think though that they underspent the money. They were honest and said, can we order the chairs, which is very good of them, but we said no. But in the original grant, it was up in the air whether we were going to give them the bloody carpet anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like,
It was that application that started the
The whole
subgroup
form.
that wrote the report we've just
So I
talked
suppose
about.
you have to discuss whether we take it as a learning and we've documented some great application processes going forward, so it's a lesson learned, isn't it? But I would go and see if there is any more targets if they have.
That we should visit, because I think when we've been thinking about those priorities, we've definitely, top of the list is those in greatest need. Now, when we visit the Cricket Club, we think, come on, they are not in greatest need. Then, and if there are others who are in greater need, or, you know, they fill our priorities in other ways, because all those priorities are taken for the stated objectives that the council has approved for this council, then we'll be in a better position to either say yes or no.
I suppose with a number of options, haven't we? We can go and do a visit and not need to make a decision tonight, do we?
No, I suppose the problem is that if we don't make a decision tonight, then you know, they might miss the next, if they don't
But
put
that's
a new
another option,
application.
isn't it, to go back to them and say, well, just put another application in for whatever it is you want to do.
And they will say no.
Yeah.
Or we just simply say, no, send us the money back.
How much money are we talking about?
£800.
800, right.
So
So
if
it's
they
quite
buy
right.
something, it's not
And it was
25 left over, is it?
No.
And it was contentious, and we also reduced the grants at that meeting because we didn't have enough to go around, so we were giving people less money than they were applying for.
Yes,
So
we
if
were.
we had had enough money to give everybody what we could have done, you know, other people went half funded, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because we didn't have enough money. So it's not like,
So if we have to make a decision tonight, it's either
I
no,
need to
send
know.
us the money back, or make another application, or give it them.
I move to refuse and ask the money back because we didn't have enough money to give everybody what they wanted.
Someone proposed that we ask them to resubmit in time for the next grants process. We tell them when that grants process is, we can give due consideration and maybe you
Oh,
can
yeah,
just
that's
in the
better.
meantime.
I'm going to make sure we visit it before.
Yeah.
That's a better answer, yeah, do that one.
Potentially that one for now. And that answers Richard's question, and it also they don't miss the next grants committee.
And maybe we can mention it, sorry,
I think it's always the devil's in the detail, isn't it? I don't know how to saying we're suggesting that you resubmit, say you have the opportunity to resubmit. Do you know what I mean? So that you're not saying, you're not giving the impression that if you're in this, you're going to say yeah. It's just like go through the proper process, make the
And it will be
application,
viewed
and it'll be
alongside.
viewed along with all this type of thing. Do you know what I mean?
maybe in the letter we could say, we could use that phrase Joe used, which was in the original meeting, there were several grant applications who didn't get the full amount because there were a lot of applicants that
Yeah, give
time.
it the background.
So they understand why we're being seemingly a bit mean with them.
Yeah, I think that'd be helpful.
It's only because it was contentious and we didn't have enough money for everybody else, and there was children's projects that got halved, and there was community projects that got halved, and furniture, and...
Actually, nothing much got half, but we did reduce people's applications.
Okay.
To try and draw a line under carpet gate, can I propose that we ask them to reapply if they want £800 towards further carpets. In the meantime, yourself and Councillor Holmes can make a meeting and go and look at said areas of proposed carpentry. And obviously we can consider the decision when it comes back in front of the next meeting. Is that?
And hopefully they won't try and bribe us.
Oh, I'm always on to it, right?
Let's not feel this.
Okay, I think we have a proposal here.
It'll give you enough carpet to do your downstairs alone.
Would somebody like to second that then?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favour? Okay, right.
Sorry, Rich, more letters, 20 quid in postage.
Okay, item 46, chair's expenses. To note the chair's expenses, no expenditure from the current budget has been made this year. Item 47, schedule of payments. To note the finalised schedule of payments for June 2024. This is the initial by the chair. Is that what I've got to do?
Yeah, do
Or at the
it
end?
afterwards.
Yeah, okay. 2, to consider approval of the month-to-date schedule of payments for August 2024. This is again to be initialed by the chair. And I forward to report.
Yeah, so as you're probably aware, it's just the yellow ones that you are approving, which are mainly case related, either to the website or the kind of sort of publicity. So it's the design and printing of the flyer to promote the community event, flyers about the bus service, the deposit on the new website creation, and then finally drawings for solar panels on home for toilets. So it's just those 4 that you're really approving. Could you ask them to approve them?
Sorry, yes. Can we approve? Thank you. Under the note here, the Finance Committee cannot authorise a payment of election cost to Kirklees Council because only council can authorise a payment from outside of the budget. But the committee should be aware of the inflated cost of a single by-election for the Upper Home Valley. £9,016. Previously, by-elections have cost between £1,000 and £2,000. Don't think there's a great deal we can do about this. By-elections.
Other than adjust all our budgeting.
Yeah, I think that was the
And the
point.
amount we
that's the
put
point
aside
of it.
each year to save up for the every 4 years.
Yeah.
Can I just ask why? What's caused that big increase?
Well, if you ask Kirklees, they would just say it's inflationary pressures.
That'll be reflective in everybody's
Simple as that.
wages, no?
I was pretty much going to ask the same question, Chair, which is, are they using a different formula? Because, again, this by-election fell at the same time as the district elections, didn't it?
it's
So you said all the same people, and they must be paying them twice to sit there.
Well, it might be,
They'll
it might
be
be counting.
paying them twice as long, because counting 2 lots of votes takes twice as long as counting 1 lot of votes.
Very good point.
Lots of the stuff was.
Councillor Allen.
I think the thing to do is to contact Kirklees Council and ask them about it and get a breakdown and just find out. Yeah,
We did.
and I'm sure they will, because when I've asked them, they've
Oh, they've already-
breakdowns and
They've
things.
already sent it,
Okay.
and it was kind of a bit of a fait accompli, it was just, yeah, the figures have
It
gone.
would be useful to know though, wouldn't it?
I asked, because if you remember when we were dealing with it, we asked, so the parish council was going to pay for the poll cards. Remember that this separate thing was going to cost us an extra couple of grand. But that's part and parcel of every by-election, so I was kind of trying to get her to suggest that wouldn't be part of the costs in future, but she essentially said no. Every by-election now is going to be approximately the same price. That's how it read, didn't it? It's going to be around 9,000 quid. So
So can I ask a question then? When council,
Sorry,
Sorry.
I think Councillor.
No, I think Chris question was asked.
Okay. Kevin.
so when Councillor Davis, MP Davis, stands down now, is that going to be another £9 grand?
that's
No,
Kirk,
not for
please.
us.
But that's not as it's
Yeah.
Kirklees, he isn't on the parish
I
council.
suppose the worry is that we've got a councillor who has been off for, it will be a year fairly soon. I suppose we're worried about that sort of situation. If 9,000, because we've already had one by-election this year, 9,000 quid. If we have another by-election, that's another potential 9,000 quid, and we're starting to look at problems at that
Is
point.
that dragging people in? Sit.
We will not resign.
Yeah.
Stay.
We can't afford to be through
This is
that.
the
Can't
worry, this is the worry though, isn't it?
So that does suggest that co-opting is obviously much cheaper, but it does deny democracy.
Denies democracy,
So
exactly.
it's
Democracy costs us more.
absolutely.
A lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We could just make a call.
I think back to the point that was made earlier, I think it's just being aware that when we come to budget setting that we need to probably factor in one by-election every year, that just assume that there might be a by-election. If you save money at the end of the day, then you save a bit of money.
And boost the amount we put aside each year for the,
Exactly.
every
For
4
the
years.
30,000, yes, exactly. So
I think it's just something we need to be aware of, isn't it? At the end of the day, we can't.
I think we can do
That wasn't a question.
Just so, there's not an easy answer, as I say, we'll need to budget for it.
yeah.
It's not great, it's a waste of money really, public money, but democracy is democracy, isn't it? And to go and fly in the face of that one there, it's not what we're about.
Exactly.
Okay, so,
Are you suggesting, Rich, that it's a waste of time going back to Kirklees and saying, actually, this is one hell of a hike to say that it's inflationary pressures?
I can forward the email that we got to you all and see what you think. I mean, she had costed it all out in terms of breakdown that this costs this and this costs this and this costs this. I don't think it felt like it was they were working from an actual shopping list, not that they were just plucking a figure from thin air. But I'll
So we've already
circulate.
got the information. that
I'll
we need.
circulate it, and
Okay.
if you look at it and think, well, this looks a bit iffy.
Well, I just think that going up to £7 grand is a bit extreme.
Yeah, it's
You know what I mean?
crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount of money. It's not that long ago we were all.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the
Well,
last
the box,
one
isn't it?
we paid for was Councillor Wilson and Councillor
That was
Buster.
the
There
last
were
one.
two, and I think it was 2,000 quid for 2 by-elections. So it's peculiar.
I just think I know that there's inflationary problems, but it don't reflect anywhere else other than Kirk.
Well,
That's not true.
That's really.
I think if we spread that if we all have that information, then we can make our own judgments
Yes.
Yeah,
on that in a fair way.
Should I suggest there's a transfer window like football? Minimise it, these are your dates, you want to leave now, go now.
a signing on fee.
Chair, I mean, in fairness, it's not just the breakdown that we need about this 9,000, it's the breakdown of the previous 1,000
exactly,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
To make that
yeah, it's a
comparison.
breakdown
I'm not
of
trying to give
every
Rich a lot more
activity
work,
by-
but that's the point. We're not necessarily questioning, oh, 9,000 a lot of money. We're saying the hike is a lot.
Yeah, it's a different.
So what would have been charged for before?
Yeah, fair point.
Then we have to go back 2 years.
And what I certainly don't know is whether there is something that has changed
Yeah.
in terms of
Yeah.
requirements
Yeah.
between the last election.
Possible,
It
I
could be
mean,
that,
you know, that is possible.
It could be that there are parts of the process that could, and I don't know whether this is the case, that they were paying that and now
Now they can't anymore.
and now they can't.
They're not willing
As
to.
with many
Yeah,
things.
I think you're right, yeah.
Then they were subsidising us in the past and they're not doing
I don't know
it.
about that.
That's the most likely.
Because that's what they
Yeah, yeah, I think that's useful. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair to the lady at elections, she was very forthcoming. She answered virtually immediately, which is almost unheard of in Kirklees. So she might, you know, I'm hopeful she would be upfront about that kind of thing.
Okay, item 48, financial statements. To note the accounting summaries for June. And so we've got cash book, trial balance, balance sheet, cash and investment, reconciliation and VAT return.
Noted.
So L1 to L5. Just to prove that I read it. I just think some things that sort of stood out for me, for no particular reason. This £600 donation from the toilets, what does that mean, that donation? Is that what's...
So basically that's people, there's an honesty box
Is that
at
what
front
it
door.
is?
Yeah,
I'm
but
not into it.
she Alison, who you know, she looks after the toilets with John. I mean, she probably goes once every couple of months.
Yeah.
It's not done every month, so that's probably covering a couple of months.
So what's the sort of cost and income balance on those toilets?
Well, I think we generally earn, I think like 5,000, and it costs us nearly 20,000.
Wow, right, okay.
So yes, it's a significant loss. And I know Service Provision are looking into ways of managing the donation process potentially with, you know, card readers and stuff like that. They are aware there's an issue there.
Okay, insurance, 11,851. And I know some of this comes back, doesn't it, from the Civic? Do we get some back from the library as well?
No.
So we pay the libraries for the Civic. How much of that do we get back then?
I don't know. They haven't been. The insurer hasn't responded yet as to what the difference is. It's probably quite a lot of that, to be honest.
Okay.
It might be as high as like 8 or 7,000.
And the only other thing I
I'll
noticed,
just chasing about it.
to my calculations, they look to be about 149,000 in EMRs.
Mhm.
Sound about right?
Yeah.
But that's currently in there.
Yep.
And we'll be coming to EMRs later on. Okay, thank you. So 2 to note for July.
Noted.
Blah 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 blah. No,
Chair.
yeah. 3 to consider as per the recommendation.
I'm repeating the point I made earlier, but again, not in the our own documents, but actually in the bank statements, people are named again. I just wonder whether, you know,
Yes, they
seeing
should
your
be.
salaries
They
and
should be redacted.
yeah, just get the point.
Are these people that have received
Is the staff here?
the staff here?
Yes.
Okay.
No, fair point. Yeah, I've completely missed that.
And John, can I ask a question when it comes to staff? Just a quick one.
Yeah.
So
It's not loaded, it's just a question while we're on about budgets. Right. Myself in the NHS has had a fairly generous pay rise, don't know how I feel about it. But is that reciprocated? Are we does that work with staffing committee? Is it like a, right,
There
yeah.
are yearly.
No, but is it the same, because it was like a public blanket, wasn't it? of-
Yeah.
We
probably the same.
use the Kirklees staff model, basically.
No, that's not true. We use the
The
national
national
The
model.
national model.
The peer review body, the same as
Yeah.
us.
I was asking if you're going to be striking.
I might strike 40% tax.
So we don't normally find, it's normally November, October, November we normally
It was
hear.
November last year.
Yeah.
Let's hope it might be a bit earlier this year. Well, my pay rise happens in April and I'm not getting it till October. That's general. Sometimes, it takes me 18 months to get it. But it was just because obviously it's been quite an interesting pay rise this year, hasn't it? So I just wondered if the same amount will be reciprocated, and obviously we have to budget for that, and it's quite a large amount, isn't it? I'm not saying you don't deserve it, I'm just saying from a budgetary point of view.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they won't be using the same thing as the NHS. It's a different pay scale that
I thought it was all public.
council workers.
It's a local government scale.
It's a different
Is it?
scale. Yeah.
Okay.
Just that was questions, sorry.
Thank you.
While we're on about salaries, sorry, Marty.
3, to consider as per the recommendation in the audit report, the committee must approve the bank to be considered cross-reference with
It's
I was just saying, what about it?
The full committee is supposed to look at every reconciliation.
You're just looking at the final figure of every month. You're not meant to be going through all the individual transactions. You're just looking at the final figure and making sure that it checks with checking the reconciliation against the bank statement.
Well, if that's what the internal auditor thinks we should do, then I think I propose we do it.
Well, I have, and they do.
Yeah, we have to do it.
Do we need to do anything more than that? I mean, I've been through them.
I thought we always did, to be honest. I thought that was one of the things we did in.
No, we've been doing it probably 3 or 4 meetings. So we have to sign the reconciliation report these days with 2 signatures, which we didn't used to have to do.
Well, I guess we will need to be reminded to do this
Yeah,
in the future.
we haven't been doing it the last few meetings. It's not. This isn't
Oh, we
new.
have
This isn't
been?
new. This
Oh,
isn't new.
right. Oh, well, then what's the internal auditor on about?
That's just a repetition of what she says. That's what she said in the report. It's not new. It's not news. That's reporting why we're having to do it.
Excuse me. Can I just ask, are you talking when you said everybody has to do this?
No.
No, okay, right.
I mean, it's heavy. I mean, in a sense, you do in that you're all voting. You're approving that they match essentially, that the reconciliation matches with the bank statement. That's why you're given these things. So you are doing that, but only two mandated councillors need to actually sign the form, which will be, the mandated councillors here are Councillor Wilson, Councillor Whitehall, Councillor Collin, Councillor Bailey.
Because I'm not sure what it is that I'm supposed to be doing then, in that case. If ideally we all do it.
You're checking the bank statements. You're given the bank statements in the pack. You're given the bank reconciliation. You're just checking that the figures match on the last day of the month.
This sounds nitpicky, it's because we've become, Rich has got the system running so well, and we've got such a good approach to it that they search for something to say we have to do.
I don't think that's fair. I think this is a national. I think this is
Standard procedure.
our accounts package changed because this changed. We have all we have to do in finances is presented in this document that turns out every year, and last year this changed, and our accounts package changed as well, so that when we print off a bank reconciliation, it has places for signatures now, which it didn't have before, because it's now a requirement, which it wasn't previously. So that's why this has appeared.
Councillor Brooks.
I propose that we accept these documents as being good and reliable. As you've checked them yourself, and I've also checked them, and I believe Councillor Ross has checked them as well, so I propose that we accept that.
I move to approve, because I have physically checked them, so I know they're right.
Yes, you have.
Okay, so all in favour? Thank you. So we're on to 4. Councillors to review the income and expenditure report for June. That's S in the pack. Again, I've been through this and I'm okay with it. Anything you want to say about that, Rich?
Well, I mean, it's all
I mean, highlighted.
kind of laid down there, really, I think, is the kind of pertinent bits. I don't know if anybody else has got. I mean, I suppose it's a bit of, it's a shame we didn't have a more up-to-date view in a sense, because obviously things have moved on, because, you know, we've got 40,000 will go into the civic in the next month, so people are going to have to be aware that when you see budgets next time, that will be at minus 40,000, you know.
But remembering we got the VAT back.
Well, no, we voted not to do that in the end. It's going
We
to.
wanted to get advice, didn't we?
We voted to get advice, unfortunately. So yes, it's been deferred, unfortunately.
Anything else to say on that?
Well, you can backdate it back 18 months, it won't be that bad, Rich.
So, to consider any further actions on income and expenditure against budgets. No further actions. And 5, earmarked reserves. I reckon at the moment we've got almost 150,000. I know that's just currently. I had a few questions. I don't know whether anyone else has. We've got 6,000 against the COVID memorial. Is that ongoing?
The apple trees can't be planted yet.
Oh, is it that? Climate action project, 14,000. Will that be spent?
That's solar panels is about.
Solar panels for the towers.
Right.
You know, that's over 10,000 in and of itself. So.
Right, so that'll, yeah. Road safety, we've got 12,500. And we spoke to you about this already. SIDS, we've 2 SIDS now and we haven't paid for either of them.
Well, it's not whinge.
Yeah, but it comes surprises.
I just wonder whether we could do something better with the money than having it sat there doing nothing.
But how much, but then if they give us a bill.
Well, given that we've been asking for a year now.
We will get it eventually,
We
or
will
else
get
to
it.
stay earmarked. You're not allowed to spend money you owe to other people, Andy, however much you want to tidy up the earmarked reserve.
Is there a way of chasing that up? And is there a way of us chasing to pay our bill?
Yeah, can we
Rather
just,
than being bad debtors
Yeah.
or receiving an unwarranted bill.
we're debt collectors.
Gemma chases, you know,
Yes,
she
yes.
chases them a lot, often, and we just get no reply.
I mean, the first one must be about a year now, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's over.
I know, but we can't spend the money because we do owe it. We know we could have these little bang interest on, so might as well just wait.
Perhaps last year to chase it again.
Okay.
Say to them we need to give it out in grants, so if you're not going to bill us. Tell them
That's a
you're a
good point,
conservative. No, soon will you?
That's perhaps a good point. We've got better things to spend it on if they don't want it.
We will want it though.
And the last thing I saw was the dog waste and litter, 3,800. Again, is that,
What's we buying that for?
In fact, I've got a dog line the other time.
What are we buying it? Yeah, yeah.
it's a
Very
sales
expensive.
point.
It's
there's a working group. This is partly that it's taking time because of the cycle of meetings and so on. So there's been one service provision meeting since this budget, and we've got a working group put together, and we have a meeting coming up. So, but we've already had some indication actually as to what, if we did decide that we wanted some bins separately in certain locations like Sands or whatever, it's what Kirklees already do and would provide. We know they're quite costly. I'd be surprised if we don't use that money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we investigating the Great Honley poo bag heist?
Well, we have heists everywhere.
Oh, do we? I thought
Yeah.
Honley was bad, they all go on day one.
Well, I don't know about that. I think we do have heisting, don't we?
Can I just ask a question? When you have a dog, right, it is your responsibility to collect the dog's muck in a bag, right, that you would purchase, like you purchase dog food. It is a responsibility of the dog owner. I appreciate that some people seem to think that, it is everybody else's responsibility, but it is not, and that is a lot of money. Can we not just say no?
Can I just clarify something? This particular EMR is not for those bags. We have a separate budget for that already. This is looking at strategies and so on.
So is this more bins? Or?
Potential. Well, I don't want to preempt, the conversation we had in the working group.
No,
because
okay. I don't want to be
but we're trying to improve things and find ways of responding to the community interests.
We have a dog warden.
Well, that would cost a lot more than a few bags.
Yeah, please have a dog warden.
Well,
Let's not get into the detail of dog waste. But my only question is whether this money is actually actively required. It's a pet hate of mine that we put money in EMRs and it just sits there and there's no real reason for it being there. If we've got plans for it, that's great.
With all due respect, I think it depends how long it sits there. And at the moment, this is a new project, a new working group, and we'll be looking at over the year. My guess is that money will be needed. I'm not saying that will be the same with all those EMRs that sit under service provision, but I think that one will be.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions on the EMRs? So to consider any further actions? No further actions? Item 49. Internal audit report. To note the full year end internal audit report with completed action.
Well done.
Well done. Thank you.
Well
Yeah.
done, yeah.
Item 50, tenancies. To note, all payments regarding garage and allotment tenancies have been received. Notes. To note, all tenancy agreements have been countersigned and returned to tenants. And thirdly, to note, a new tenant has taken on the lease of the outside shop unit adjoining Holmworth toilets at a rent of £350 a month.
Can I ask when that will happen? When they will actually take over the tenancy?
It's happened, it's signed. Just
Have
say
they signed it, but when are they going to be?
They're in the process of moving in.
Hasn't had an email invite to go and visit them at the building on our council accounts.
Yeah, we had an email, came this afternoon.
They're doing a presentation in town.
I saw that invitation in town, I didn't know that, okay, right, I've not looked at my emails.
Chair, can I just comment on this? Just point out, Rich may want to make another comment on it, that we have of course missed out on several months' rent as income already. That's going to be that's taken into account, I'm sure, in Rich's calculations. So, just unfortunate.
Why was it delayed?
No, what do you mean?
Oh, you mean 'cause it was empty?
Yeah, we didn't have to.
Oh, we would have had a tenant though.
We didn't have a tenant, and then it's going to be processes and so.
Okay, item 51, new model financial regulations from NALC. To note the Financial Regulations Working Group, which consists of myself, Councillor Colling and RFO. We're going to meet on Tuesday the 3rd of September. I've started looking through this.
Yes, I saw your email.
It's sleep inducing, isn't it? But I guess once we've had that first meeting, we can report back on.
Noted, thank you.
Item 52, internal control checks.
No,
Councillor Miles has got to report.
I noticed a couple of errors, and that's it. And I corrected them, and it's fine. That were it, just on there. And I looked for a check that wasn't there, but that's fine.
Okay, noted then. Item 53, banking. Unity Trust. 1A, to note that the Unity Trust accounts have been set up and councillors have started to register for the bank as of officers. The RFO will be slowly moving the council's business over to Unity Trust from HSBC over the next few months. Councillor Lyons.
Can I just say something really quickly about the electricity cost thing? Slightly, Rich? So, if you have the electricity cost for home birth toilets, that's why I'm commenting, because we're putting batteries on there as solar panels.
Yeah.
I've just signed an agreement with E.ON that exports through battery and solar at 40p, but if you don't have their battery and solar, you get 25p.
Yeah.
So, when we're exporting the energy from the solar panels, we get 25p, when we're only paying 22p for electric, so you might want to look at the electric price,
Okay.
see if it's cheaper to move,
Okay.
and also fix it, 'cause it's going up 8% in October. Alright, thank you very much, there you go everybody. There you go,
Okay.
it matters.
So we're approving the addition of Unity Trust to the list of regular payments.
Approved.
Has everyone managed to get on the Unity Trust? Was that the last
No,
one?
Councillor Whitelaw had similar problems as you, and she's going to have a, she's going to, oh, you have as well.
Yeah.
Have you received,
Well, they said I didn't receive all the information and passwords and so on, so I rang them up, you know, I'm on the phone for a while, etc. I finally just had a bit, but I think I've still got more to come. I can't get on it as yet.
yeah. Councillor
Yeah.
Whitelaw
Yeah.
has similar.
The instructions in the letter don't match what happens when you log on.
Oh, no, I've got that
So
far.
it's, you know, it says put in your PIN, but you haven't got a PIN.
And
Oh, right,
I've not heard
okay.
from
And that was that.
I've not heard from Councillor Dixon either. I mean, I think myself, Jen and Gemma have all managed to get on. So from
I
the,
think I got on.
you got on, Councillor Black has got on, you've got on after some issues. So we're about, well, we're more than halfway.
Now we just have to recommend it from the committee chairs.
Okay, 1B, to approve the setting up of current direct debits from HSBC current account to the Unity Trust. This is BT Grenk,
What's the least of the photocopy?
Information Commissioner's Office and Scottish Water. So are we approving that?
Yes.
Can I make an amendment of that actually, because it might not be Grenky now. Do we know if it is still Grenky, Joe?
Well, we haven't changed them. We've got a better photocopier, but it's the same company.
Well, Document Logic are the same,
Yeah.
but they may have contracted with a different supplier. We definitely know it's the same.
I'll check.
Can we say whoever
The
the
photocopier,
photocopy
yeah.
is with?
Yeah, photocopy of these.
Yeah,
Yes.
Lisa, leave the name off all the
Okay, 1C, to approve 2 new direct debits. Document Logic and Empower. We approve it.
I'll go look at them, Cedric.
Okay.
1D, to approve the transfer of current standing orders, staff salaries, HMRC, West Yorkshire pensions, timing, out, media and art week. Okay. And E, to note, the RFO will be applying for Unity Trust Corporate Multi-Pay in due course. to be approval of the limits on the card, the limits, transaction limits.
Yeah, I'm not expecting us to debate all the levels now. I'm just kind of forewarning myself and forewarning you that it might need a bit of debate.
Okay, CCLA. To note, the parish council needs to submit a new bank mandate paperwork for the CCLA public sector deposit fund account.
No,
Okay, noted, thank you. Item 54, financial records for the website. To note, the financial records for June have been added. July will be added soon.
July has been
Alright, okay.
Today, what?
Noted. Item 55, publicising the work of Home Valley Parish Council to consider recent events or news that this committee wishes to publicise via the press.
Well, in the short term, encouraging people to apply for grants quickly.
Yeah.
Can I just make a point about when you're going to Upperthorne? I mean, I think it's useful if you let us know, one of the officers, because you know it's important that we get photographs of these things. It's not just for you to turn up. It's meant to be for stuff we publicise, websites and social media. So don't just go and not have photographs.
Under a couple of days.
Let us know, and we will go along and take photographs and
I imagine this is going to be
report.
It's going to be a weekend, isn't it?
When
It's going to be a Sunday when they're playing cricket.
Well,
Mm.
I suppose
We can take a photo.
if you're happy to do that,
I've got it up, it's really easy.
let us know regardless.
Councillor Burke.
Just a quick one on the publicity side. We've got the grants evaluation reports, item 45. There are obviously 4 causes on there. They've got some nice images I've seen on there. Grant reports there. Perhaps we could use some of those on social media, maybe. A bit of a success story thing there. Because they've already provided us with that one there. They've given us all the details they need.
There are some good photos, aren't there?
Yeah, some lovely photos. We could put those on Facebook for council.
And that's encouraging people to apply for grants as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Can I ask you a question, actually? So the other question was, you know, Art Week,
Yeah.
obviously we've given them a grant, haven't we?
No,
And you-
It's the art festival we give a rolling grant to, art week, we don't give.
I wondered if we could do, no, it wasn't that. I wondered if we could do an article on people within the parish that actually do stuff for Art Week. So we've got the lovely Tracy at Aidedge. She does loads for Art Week, she's a very talented artist. So I wondered if we could do a bit of an Art Week thing
Of course.
for each per parish person.
I think it's a great idea, but it should be the art festival doing that rather than our clerks.
Well, I meant for like a bit of publicity about the grant.
In which case we can ask them if they'd like to provide a submission for us and we can share it on our site. Save us the work and we'll use
We're
it.
talking about Art Week or Art Festival.
Art Week, because we gave a grant to Art Week, that's what I was talking
We do
about.
an annual subscription to Art Week.
Which is different
It's
to a
less.
grant.
Yeah, yeah.
What is the annual subscription?
Virtually, it's like 20 quid. It's not.
That's what I was thinking,
it's
so
not
that's,
big
we
money.
don't really give a grant.
Yeah,
That's a
I'm not
money
conscious.
raising for.
I'm not conscious that we have given money to Art Week for some
No, I don't
time.
think we have. We've given it to the art festival, we haven't given it to art week.
And they're very different.
I will have to have a look, but I'm not conscious of Art Week getting grants.
No, in fact, well, we've just picked it up on one of these payments, it's a subscription, but as you say, it's, I don't quite know what it is. but it's a very
Well, I
small
didn't,
amount.
because it was a standing order, it just turned up every year. I was a bit like, why are we giving them 20 quid every year?
It's just being recognised.
I think it's just a subscription. It's just a subscription. Yeah, it's like this, isn't it?
Well,
I was just going to say that obviously there are other things that we don't actually, we don't give grants towards, we don't contribute financially towards, which might still be worth mentioning in obviously on our Facebook and stuff like that,
We're involved in the ballot, yeah.
because it raises people's awareness of events going on. So I don't think we need to contribute to share that information. It's rather nice to support people just by
In the ballot.
using our social media power.
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't this what we're doing with the community
That's
celebration?
exactly what I was going to say. The community celebration is bringing all these different groups together, whether we give a grant to them or not. So, yeah, that's reminded us that we should. Invitations have gone out to about 100 different organisations. It was on the list and Gemma went through it. I'm not quite sure who she would have sent it to at Home for High, but it was on the list.
Only
Only high
not
school.
first.
Only high school. This
This
was-
was for their hard work.
It was
they
the students in particularly you wanted to invite,
Yes,
wasn't it?
it was the ones who came and made the presentation.
Yeah, well, they were put on the list. I haven't checked with Gemma that.
Okay.
I would presume that she would have done. She's on holiday now, so I can't obviously check that with her. But
Well, they're not back for a week or two
they
anyway.
were definitely on the list.
And it's not just people by invitation, is it? Because we'll be putting it out there through Facebook and so on as well.
There's a distinction to be made between the invitations that have gone for people to participate by having a stand or a poster, or if they would like to, and then there's the invitation to people to come along.
Come and enjoy it, yeah.
But if another organisation, sorry, I'm going to get bogged down with this again. I'll say no.
Okay.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.